Welcome to Gutter Trash, episode 308, Inherent Vice. My name is Eric.
And I am Jason.
Hello.
Hello, Eric. How are you?
I'm alright, how are you?
Pretty good.
Good to hear.
Pretty good. We're having bad hair days.
I'm not having so much of a bad hair day as it is I've just decided that I'm not going to bother making any sort of attempt to have a good hair day.
Ever?
Well,
or just today?
Today.
It's a Sunday.
It's Sunday. It's the Lord's Day.
The Lord had bad hair.
Exactly. The Lord doesn't give a shit about your hair.
That's right. Yeah, I think that was in the Bible.
Uh-huh. Yep. You're actually having a fairly good hair day, it looks like to me.
You like my hair?
I do, yeah.
Oh, thanks. I just recently had it trimmed.
I can tell.
Yeah. It's getting shaggy.
There.
Kind of like Mr. Phoenix.
Yes.
That was a shaggy hair.
That was indeed a shaggy hair.
I don't know that I've ever seen him with that hair other than his like weird DJ phase.
When he went through his hip-hop career, the fake hip-hop career.
Right.
What was the name of that movie?
Oh, it was called, what was it called? I'm Still Here.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen that yet. I've held it in my hands, and I actually watched the episode of Letterman that he was on the night it aired. And I was like, what the hell? He's going to be a DJ. And just didn't hear anything else about it for a while.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see that movie.
I'm fine never seeing that movie. Just because,
I like weird I like comedies that are kind of still based in reality, and especially when, like, some of the people involved don't know they're in a comedy.
Right.
I like that, actually. Like Bad Grandpa.
See, I hated Bad Grandpa.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I love that kind of thing. It's a guilty pleasure, I guess.
I do like Borat. That was a funny movie.
I've never seen any of that fella's movies, and I probably should give them a chance.
I would at least highly recommend The Dictator.
The Dictator?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a scripted movie, but it is quite hilarious.
Yeah.
And National Treasure Jason Mantzoukas is a star of that movie.
Jason Mantzoukas.
Yes.
Who's that?
He is an actor and comedian who is also a podcast host.
Oh, I don't like those people, especially if they're named Jason.
It's true. But this one is 1/3 of the How Did This Get Made podcast.
Oh, okay, that's actually good.
Yes, and he's a recurring character on a show called The League. He plays Raffi, and he has appeared on numerous other shows and in guest spots, and is always delightful.
Always.
Because he is a goddamn national treasure.
Okay.
And not on Twitter.
Did he used to be on Twitter?
Nope.
So he's a lot like me.
Sorta.
His name's Jason.
Yeah.
National treasure, not on Twitter.
Right.
Podcast host.
Yeah.
Appears in things and makes them really funny.
Sure.
Yeah.
And also very dark brown with a thick bushy beard.
That's me.
Yep.
Yeah. In fact, if we were both in the room, you probably wouldn't know which was which.
What people don't know is that your full name is Jason Youngzoukas.
Yeah, it's true. When my family immigrated, we shortened it to Young.
Yep.
Just to avoid being hassled by the neighborhood kids. Inherent Vice?
Inherent Vice. It's a movie we just watched.
I had forgotten that this movie existed. Like, I remember seeing trailers for it and going, oh, wow, another Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
Sure.
I gotta see that.
Right.
And then a couple years went by or whatever.
It's been about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, since I saw the trailer, though,
right.
I don't know.
Probably about a year.
And I totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
Until you picked it last week.
I believe it's a 2014 movie.
Yeah.
It was on the nearly new shelf on at the video store. So
well, I could walk in right now and set Casablanca on the nearly new shelf if I wanted.
Sure, but not every copy of Casablanca.
Oh, okay, they were all on there.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got me again, Sean Bourne. Yeah, so it's PTA's new movie.
Yeah. Not a lot of people talked about this one.
No.
Like
not that I know of.
I mean,
I don't talk to a lot of people, though.
Well, it's true, but I mean, I keep my ear to the ground.
You're
on the
in tune.
lookout.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie kind of came out, and I heard maybe one or two people talk about it, and
I wonder why that is.
Yeah, it just kind of just fell to the wayside. I don't know. I think I might have a clue as to why that is.
Because it's weird?
Because it's very weird. And I gotta tell you, I don't think I understand a single fucking second of what I watched. But I also have to tell you, I fucking loved it.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good. Well, okay. I think every time I watch a movie that has a lot of like noir and a lot of like case solving and a lot of like a lot of names and a lot of like who's on this side and that side, it always takes me like 3 watches to get it down. Like,
sure.
Like even like okay, the Coen brothers, some of my favorite filmmakers, possibly my favorite filmmakers ever.
Right.
I probably had to watch Miller's Crossing 4 times before I felt like I got it all. Like I feel like I got it all now.
Right.
But like the first couple times I was like, oh, this is great, but I don't understand like who's playing who on this part and like who are they talking about? Is that guy? Like maybe it's just a problem of mine, but yeah, I feel the same way. Like there's a lot of this where I'm like, okay, who was that again? Like they'll drop a name and you're like, okay, they mentioned that earlier, but there's so many names. And,
oh yeah.
But
I think that's an inherent problem with mysteries.
Wow. Yeah.
And noir type stories, because this is essentially a noir.
Yeah. It is. It's a very sunny, or like it's a very Californian noir, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. And you brought up the Coen brothers, which is funny because I did want to bring up that I think this is maybe one of 2 movies that can fall into the category of stoner noir.
Yeah.
The other
Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski.
Right. Yeah.
But
my unproduced screenplay for my life story.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be released posthumously.
Well, yeah. Like all of my better work.
Right.
Yeah. I'm saving it up. Yeah, I totally got that vibe, especially when he's like Joaquin Phoenix's character's what's his name? Sorbella?
His name is Larry Doc Sportello.
Sportello, yeah. He's Doc. We'll call him Doc, right?
Yeah, Doc. Okay. What's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc? He's like Eric Shonoway, right?
What?
Who's the comic artist that goes by Doc? Eric?
Evan Shaner.
Evan Shaner, that's who it is. I mixed his name with yours, is what I did. But yeah, so he's doing a lot of like kind of bumbly stoner detective work in this movie, and I think he proved to me Joaquin Phoenix can be really funny.
Oh yeah,
in this movie, like this movie is surprisingly funny. It's
at times goddamn hilarious.
It's probably the funniest movie Paul Anderson's done since There Will Be Blood.
I mean, I busted a gut when, he
the milk
killed,
scene.
Yeah, well, yeah, that, and when he, when he kills the guy in the bowling alley.
Right.
And I mean, fucking Paul F. Tompkins is in that movie.
Yeah, he's
one of the funniest comedians alive.
Right.
You don't hire one of the funniest comedians alive.
Unless you're making a comedy goldmine.
Right.
I would love to see someone recut the trailer to There Will Be Blood with some I don't know, Calloway music.
And, yeah,
that'd be great.
Smash Mouth All-Star plays. Yeah.
That'd be awesome. That always helps a movie. Smash Mouth's in there. Yeah, Inherent Vice was really fun.
Yes, it was.
A very funny movie.
It gets a little dark.
Yeah, like all good.
Sure.
Yeah.
But not as dark as I thought it might get though at times.
Yeah.
Like I just thought, like some of the characters were just due for a very grim ending, and it didn't really happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I remember when I did see the trailer there, I remember thinking like that looks odd for him. Like I thought it looked like it had a quirkiness, like a fun vibe to it, but I didn't realize it was going to be as like comical. I just thought it was like more fun.
Right.
But it's actually like we laughed out loud several times.
Oh yeah.
Like when because he interviews a lot of people, Doc, and he takes notes, and just some of the close-ups on his notes are so priceless. Like there's no words said aloud, but it's just what he writes in the notebook is great. Without spoiling.
Right. Basically, I felt like, that's how I would take notes.
Right.
I would just take the most inconsequential thing that was told to me and write that down.
Yeah, and then like the kind of notes that when you read it later, won't help you at all. Yeah. And Josh Brolin as Detective Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Wow.
He is great.
He's incredible in this. Like, he has some just wordless scenes that are priceless. Like, he acts like he
I mean, Josh Brolin is great anyway. We knew that,
from Goonies.
Goonies,
right?
Gleaming the Cube, is that one of his movies?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I know Christian Slater's in it.
Okay. I felt like he was in another skateboard movie.
Yeah. He probably was. Yeah, he's awesome, though.
Yeah, he is.
Like No Country for Old Men.
Exactly, yeah. Jonah Hex.
Oh, yeah.
But no, yeah, he is fucking wonderful in this movie.
Yeah.
And plays such a weird, complex character, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you're just never sure what side he is, what side he's on, who he's playing, what he's doing.
Or just what angle he's about to shoot off in.
Right, yeah, but you're mesmerized every time he's on screen because he's just wonderful and weird.
He kind of reminds me in this movie of awesome Nicolas Cage. You know how you kind of roll the dice
Sure.
every time you watch a Nicolas Cage movie, but sometimes you end up with awesome.
Yeah.
And I felt like his character was like possibly even written for awesome Nicolas Cage, and he came in and tried out and he was doing shitty Nicolas Cage, and they're like, oh, better get rolling.
Yeah.
Because he has that kind of odd, weird, amazing vibe to him.
Yeah. But a lot of the characters also do as well. Yeah. Maybe not as Nick Cagey but everybody is definitely playing up quirks.
Yeah.
Even some glorified cameos by let's say Martin Short.
That was awesome. He played it. Okay, yeah. He was this dentist that looked exactly like early 70s Bob Dylan,
I guess.
And if you notice, when he sat down in front of his desk, I forget his last name is Blatnoyd.
Yeah.
The word Dylan is in his last name if you rearrange the letters, and then there's I don't know, 2 or 3 extra letters.
Right. Yeah.
But I just noticed that on his desk. I was like, oh, I wonder if that's an homage.
Maybe, I don't know.
But he was awesome.
Yeah.
In that movie. I mean, I've always loved Martin Short ever since Ed Grimley when I was a kid. But
I think my first exposure to him was probably in Three Amigos.
Mine was either Three Amigos or Inner Space.
Inner Space, ooh. Yeah, I can't remember which one came first, but...
yeah, I mean, even if one's older than the other, I don't remember which order I saw it in.
Yeah.
Both awesome movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Three Amigos is one of the best.
Yeah. It definitely has a Coen Brothers vibe to it a little bit. Not as obvious as that other movie we watched a couple weeks ago, the French movie.
Oh, you're the only one.
But you.
Nobody else but you.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Which was enjoyable, but
right. You can tell. Yeah, you can tell it's like a.
Yeah, but I think with Paul Thomas Anderson, we get a little bit more of a mastery of the craft where he can,
He's an amazing filmmaker.
Yeah.
He knows how to make things look awesome and set a tone and change tones on a dime.
Oh, yeah.
And not make it seem like...
out of place.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is... I mean, Magnolia had some quirky moments, I think, but this is, I think, definitely his funniest movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And the story, okay, it's like a weird noir movie where, someone is missing and then other things kind of...
Yeah, there's a real estate scam happening and like a conspiracy with the government,
and things start to overlap, and like all good mysteries, know, like things start to become a bigger picture, and there's a lot going on in this movie.
Yeah,
but it's basically a detective movie,
right?
Like a stoner comedy-ish weirdo detective movie.
Yep. Because the Joaquin Phoenix character Doc is a private detective.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, because I think a little bit of Brick. This reminded me a little bit of Brick as well.
Okay, yeah.
Not as dark or as dry as Brick, but
right.
Some elements, but that's obviously and even the Big Lebowski. They're not actual detectives; they're just people who get caught up in like this big thing. Whereas here we actually have a detective here.
Although people are constantly surprised that they're like, "You're an actual detective now?
Right.
Like you passed? They gave you the license?"
Well, it's because he's a hippie stoner.
Yeah.
I mean, people are probably surprised at all the stuff you accomplished, right?
It's true. I haven't really accomplished that much, so they're not too surprised. They're like, "You've scrawled on paper and stapled it together? Who would have thought you would be capable of that?"
You hold down a full-time job? What?
Well, it's like 35 hours, so.
It's full-time.
Yeah. Okay.
Technically.
Yeah.
Anything over 32.
Oh, okay. Well, sometimes I get 40.
Well,
so,
see,
there you go. Yeah.
But yeah, anything over 32 hours, you are eligible for benefits.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wait, eligible for what? After the show, you might have to explain to me what that is. Yeah. It was really good. Yeah. There's a lot of awesome actors that just kind of appear in this movie. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, okay, well, you kind of explained this one away, but as soon as I saw Maya Rudolph was like the
his receptionist.
Receptionist. I was like, I love Maya Rudolph. I really do. And just to see her in there, I was like, what? Like, because I hardly ever see her in anything other than straight comedies.
Straight comedies, right?
So it was really cool to see her, and like, I love Owen Wilson. There's something about him that just...
Oh, yeah.
It brightens my day to see him. Like, he just delivers an aura of peaceful comedy.
I really like Owen Wilson. And I feel like he has a bad reputation, and it's his own fault for being in some terrible fucking movies.
He's made some poor choices.
But when he's in great movies...
Yeah.
With Wes Anderson...
Yeah.
Like when he was doing all those movies. They're all fantastic, and he's fantastic in them.
I even liked him in mediocre movies.
Oh, I like him in some mediocre movies, too.
He's always fun to watch.
The Shanghai movies with Jackie Chan, those were fun.
The Big Bounce.
I never saw that one.
It was okay. I think it was an Elmore Leonard book, but the movie was just kind of okay.
Yeah.
But he was great in it.
Yeah, he's fun.
I didn't know he was in this, though, and I was like, when he showed up, I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. I think I knew, but had just forgotten, because I started looking through the cast list, and I was like, there's a lot of people in this, so, just kind of, it was like, Joaquin Phoenix, that's all I'm remembering.
Right,
Eric Roberts shows up for a small role. Yeah. Small but pivotal.
Yeah, he's great.
And, my thing about Eric Roberts is that, if you're the type of person that enjoys a Julia Roberts movie, we probably would get along okay, but if you light up when you see Eric Roberts in a movie, we're going to be very good friends.
Right? Yeah, I'm more of a Julia Roberts kind of person.
That's why we get along okay.
Yeah.
And we're not friends.
Right. We're business associates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All that money we make doing our drawing nights and podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the glue that holds this together.
Yep.
Who else was a good guest star in this?
Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, the collector.
Yeah. I think I'm on record as saying that I do not enjoy Benicio del Toro. Right. But this may be, like, one of his best roles.
He's kind of understated.
I think that's why.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But he does have some quirky scenes. Like, I love the restaurant scene where towards the beginning of the film, he sits down with Doc and they order something, and the waitress says, "You're gonna want some alcohol with this. You're gonna have to get fucked up for this meal," because they order all this like deep fried stuff. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
it was pretty good.
But yeah, normally I just find him like just indecipherable and boring, and or just way too over the top. Even though I did enjoy him in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, he was awesome.
And he was alright as the Collector in Guardians of the Galaxy, but for the most part, like
not a fan, really.
Not a fan.
I like him,
but I enjoyed him in this. But his role was also pretty small.
Yeah, he comes and goes throughout the film, but he's not. He doesn't have a lot of screen time.
No. Man, who else?
Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon, yeah.
I didn't know she was going to be in this.
I had no idea.
That was cool.
Well. Reunited with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like an ensemble.
Yeah, it is. And then there's like subplots with like Nazis and the government, and it's just
hippies,
and then Charles Manson is repeatedly brought up.
Right.
It's
dentistry. The dark side of dentistry.
Yeah. The one thing we did learn is we learned a couple things, such as how to yell out more pancakes in Chinese.
I forget how.
I totally forget.
I want to say like
Laku Pankaku or something like that.
I felt terrible for not remembering.
Yeah, but also
I shouted out loud in the middle of the film.
Right. But also a gathering of 3 or 4 more people is considered a cult.
Well, at least it was in those times. Yeah.
It may still be. We don't know.
Well, I think it was like people they had to have shoulder length hair.
Shorter length hair or longer.
So there was one other criteria other than the gathering of 4. But I forget
I think one woman.
Oh, that's what it was. That what it was?
Yeah, I think so. There was a couple of other things, but yeah.
The cop pulls him over, and he's noticeably nervous. He's a young cop, and there's 4 of them in the car, and he thinks it might be a Manson cult type thing. It's just it's got like all your noir tripes or whatever, but it's got all these like quirky, awesome scenes and characters that and it was kind of a long movie, but it didn't feel long.
I never felt bored ever watching it. Yeah.
And I haven't smoked weed in a long time.
Did this make you want to smoke weed?
It really made me want to like I can't think of the last time I wanted to smoke weed as much as when in the middle of this movie I was like, I need to watch this again and smoke weed and just let it all happen.
And on your papers,
zigzags.
What are you gonna write?
Oh yeah,
to put out into the world.
Yeah, that's weird. Right? I've never seen people do that.
Yeah. And he only does it once. I thought that might be a recurring thing, but at least we only see it once.
What did he write?
He wrote for the safety of his ex-girlfriend.
Oh, see, that's nice.
Because that's part of the plot, is that she has come to him with this case, and then she winds up disappearing, and so it just makes matters worse.
Yeah. And there's a hilarious scene, too, where the Detective Bigfoot calls Doc to tell him that they found the hotel she was staying in.
Right.
And just the delivery of the information, it's so perfect in such a way that it just sounds like he's describing like a murder scene.
Right.
But she's actually just, they just missed her and she's left the building.
Right, yeah.
But like he's not communicating that well, and Doc's not.
Well, he's just saying like it was awful. She's gone.
Yeah, she's gone. We walked in and we opened the door and she's gone. She's gone. And he was like basically crying, she's gone. He's like, yeah, we don't know where she went. And he's like, what? It was so good. And hopefully, that's not really a spoiler.
It's not really.
It's just a dumb joke that's in the movie.
Right, yeah.
It was great.
I couldn't honestly tell you. If we literally just watched this movie, and I don't think I could describe the plot any better than what we have.
Yeah, it's a menagerie.
Yeah,
the plot is,
but it is so damn enjoyable.
Yeah, it is.
I guess I did not expect it to be. I knew it was going to be kind of funny, but I did not expect it to be this much of a comedy.
Yeah,
and Man, that was something I was in the mood for, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the thing about picking a movie far in advance. Like you didn't know probably when you picked this that you were going to be in the mood for comedy, and it just worked itself out. So, it was based on a book by somebody Pynchon.
Thomas Pynchon.
I've never heard of him.
Really?
Yeah, what does he do other than write this movie?
Most famously, he didn't write this movie. He wrote the book based on this movie. Most famously, he is incredibly reclusive. His most famous book was called Gravity's Rainbow.
Okay.
Written back in the 60s. He's only written like maybe 5-6 books total. But yeah, he is mostly like he wrote the book Gravity's Rainbow. It became like a big success, and he basically hid from the public forever.
Wow.
Like he's, I don't think, ever really given any interviews, and he's never had his picture taken. He has just lived a very quiet life, although he has had a guest spot on The Simpsons once.
Wow.
Where his character showed up, and he had a paper bag over his head. But he also had a giant neon sign pointing at him that said, "This is Thomas Pynchon."
You gotta love The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I wasn't familiar with him.
Yeah. I don't remember where I'd heard of Thomas Pynchon before, but I'm going to take a wild stab and say probably on Night Court.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Like he was on there?
No.
He wrote a couple of
They just talked about him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Talked about Gravity's Rainbow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which I then eventually found out was actually a real book written by a real person.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. But, kind of watching this made me think maybe I should track down at least this book, see if it's any good. And
I've never really read noir style stuff. Like my brother, one of his favorite writers is Elmore Leonard.
Sure.
He's read literally everything the man's ever written, and he's tried to get me into him, and I tried to read one of them years ago, and I was just like, I don't know. For some reason, I just couldn't get into it. I feel like that's something I like to watch more than I like to read. I don't know. There's some things I like to read more.
I think you've stated that in the past, like with like certain comics that we've read, like Criminal or anything Ed Brubaker ever wrote.
Right. Yeah.
Elmore Leonard, I have read like a couple of his books, and I've really, really enjoyed them.
Oh yeah.
Like the book that Jackie Brown was based off was excellent, and I've read a couple of others. And of course, there's Justified.
Yeah.
But I enjoy reading noir.
Yeah, maybe I'll give it a shot sometime.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, maybe it would help clear things up a little bit, because you could like kind of skim back over a paragraph,
right,
get a name again or whatever. But there's a lot of names in this movie.
There are so many names, so many people that show up, and like even just for one scene. And
this is the kind of movie too where, when random people show up and they have small scenes and their name is given, you're trying to remember that name because you're like, oh, well, maybe this will be something I need to remember later and figure something out, to make a leap or whatever. And there's just so many of them that, like, you don't really know which ones to remember, which ones to let slide. So, yeah, good movie.
Very good movie. Very enjoyable. Highly recommended.
Yeah.
Don't overlook this one, kids.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah. You feel like taking a break, maybe?
Sure.
I don't know how much we can talk about without spoiling stuff.
Yeah, right.
I mean, not that I think we could explain what was being spoiled, but
no.
Yeah.
We just don't want to accidentally spoil it.
Right.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
All right.
Let's go stretch our legs.
Okay. We'll be back shortly.
With the way I wanted to.
Welcome back to Gutter Trash.
Hello.
We're here.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Where else would we be?
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Yeah. So what's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty well.
Yeah. There was one thing I did kind of want to mention.
About the film?
Not so much about the film, but the thing that I learned after the film.
That was interesting.
So we're... the movie's over, and then the credits are rolling, and I like to read credits sometimes. So you see
I
who's
do
in the
too.
movie.
I like credits, yeah.
And one of the title cards that comes up says filmed by Ghoulardi Film Production Studio or whatever. And that clicked something in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Because the listener might be aware that we have a very tangential connection to the horror host community.
Yeah.
Via our pal Matt Brassfield,
who is in completely
he is
immersed.
Yeah,
entrenched is a good one in the horror host community.
And so, but we know some stuff, and I've watched some documentaries, and there's one I believe called American Scary, which is all about different horror hosts. And Ohio, our home state, seems to have had quite its share of famous horror hosts.
Yeah, we're good at something.
Yeah. And one of the bigger ones is a horror host from Cleveland in the 60s by the name of Ghoulardi.
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw that listed, on the credits of this movie, and it was like, well, there's that horror host from Cleveland, so I wonder what the connection is here. I wondered, like, is it just somebody who was a fan of Ghoulardi and decided to name their production company after that, something,
right?
That
somebody from Cleveland,
right? Maybe, yeah. So I looked it up and discovered that Paul Thomas Anderson, the director of the very movie that we just watched, is the son of Ghoulardi.
It's pretty crazy.
The actual son, because I think there was actually a character called the son of Ghoulardi.
Right, like as horror movies are entitled to, like Son of Dracula, that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah. But the actual biological son of Ghoulardi is Paul Thomas Anderson.
That's pretty cool.
So he named his film production company after his dad.
That's pretty awesome.
That is super awesome.
Yeah.
And that also explains, because I've read rumors on and off over the years that at some point Paul Thomas Anderson intends fully to make a horror movie.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like every time he comes out with a new movie, there's like always something about I may be doing a horror movie next.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hasn't done it yet.
That would be awesome.
Oh yeah, it would.
I mean, it could be awesome.
Could be.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining that, like just like the pacing that he has.
Right.
I could totally see that being a great, weird horror movie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's weird, because very rarely do you have, like, people who have become, like, critical darlings like he has, branch off and do a horror movie. Usually it's, I'm just some nobody trying to break in the industry, so here's a horror movie I did.
Right.
And now I only ever do horror movies.
Right.
Yeah,
that is weird.
And even very rarely do you see someone, it's like, hey, I started out in horror movies and I made it big, and now I'm branching off to do all this other stuff. It's usually, I'm still doing horror movies.
That reminds me, did you pick up the horror reference in the movie we watched tonight? At the dentist office?
No.
They made a reference to, it was, I can't remember if it was like a doctor's name or a street address, but there was something called Voorhees Kruger.
Oh, I did not.
Yeah.
No.
They like just threw that line out there, and I was like, what?
Huh.
But I think it was like a doctor or something.
Okay.
But it's like, oh, that's kind of neat.
Oh, huh. Usually I do catch shit like that, and it makes me angry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was done like kind of quick, and it wasn't like a slow pull on a like street sign or anything. Well, that's cool. Maybe his horror movie would somehow be connected to the horror host community. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah.
Like if it was about a horror host or something. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
The things you learn.
Seriously. It's like, it's almost as mind-blowing as when I learned that Humpty Hump was the same guy as Shock G from Digital Underground.
Yeah. That kind of blew your mind as well.
Yeah. It'd be like finding out that Chuck D and Flava Flav were the same guy.
Yeah, like the camera pans down and you see like Chuck D's hand going up like the bottom of the puppet that is Chuck D. Flava Flav, yeah. Or more ironic, the other way around.
Right?
Yeah. Because usually it's, the dummy.
Right.
Not that I'm calling Flava Flav a dummy, but if there was a ventriloquist and a dummy in that situation.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I will say this, one of those guys is probably one of the smartest people to ever grab a mic in the hip-hop community, and the other one has had multiple reality television shows.
And is named Flava Flav. Yep. But we're not going to name any names.
Nope.
Yeah, Chuck D's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, looking forward to Thanksgiving?
I guess. Not really. No, I am not.
Oh, wow, you changed your mind pretty quickly.
Yep.
Looking forward to Black Friday?
Slightly more so. I don't plan on doing any shopping or really being out in a crowd anywhere.
Mm-hmm. But you might be part of the commercial society that we live in, the consumer world that day.
I mean, it's hard to completely cut yourself off if you try to remain a part of society.
Yeah. Are we trying to remain a part of society? I thought we talked about expelling ourselves.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. I mean, I'm a city guy, like deep in my soul. Mm-hmm. But my anxiety and my introversion and my general dislike of people in general have often led me to think, man, it would be great if I could just get like a cabin out in the woods, like on a river or something.
Oh, that would be great.
Maybe close enough to a town that it's not entirely inconvenience, but far away enough that I can live peacefully and solitarily.
Like Frankenstein's monster.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. With a moderately speeded internet connection.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's sort of the modern day Frankenstein's monster.
Yes.
We don't want Frankenstein's monster with DSL. He's gonna freak out.
Gotta have cable. Yeah. Gotta have broadband.
Yeah. Firefox bad. Oh, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, you made a reference.
Yeah, I did. To technology and classic horror.
Yep. What about you? You looking forward to the Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Probably just gonna have some food.
Yeah.
And then go to sleep.
Yeah. It's goddamn perfect.
Yeah. Maybe do some reading or drawing.
Sure. That sounds amazing. Can I come to your Thanksgiving?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, you can.
Sweet. Yeah. It probably couldn't be any less awkward than the one I'm going to, so.
Well, yeah, it's probably just going to be my mother and I and some animals. So
I like all of those things.
Right.
I like your mom. I like you. I like your animals.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Good times.
Indeed.
We're having spaghetti, by the way. Just like the Pilgrims did.
Turkey's fine and everything, but I do prefer Italian over any kind of Thanksgiving meal.
It's sounding pretty great, huh?
Yeah. I may ditch my own family and just hang out with you guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're invited.
All right. Maybe I'll bring over the PS3 and we can all binge watch Jessica Jones all day.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'd watch Jessica Jones. I heard there's some pretty good guest stars in that.
Yeah.
So I'd like to check that out.
I know Luke Cage is featured in it a little bit.
He's kind of one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? The other day I was going through some old artwork, and I found that I'd forgotten you and I did another jam piece years ago.
Yeah.
Of Power Man and Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah, I did Power Man and you did Iron Fist.
Yeah. Weren't we supposed to give that to somebody?
I think we gave it to Kurt.
Okay.
I think he won a gutter trash contest.
Yeah.
Well, no, I saw it.
And he was...
I saw a digital
version.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I was also going to say Kurt was probably also the only applicant.
The only applicant, yeah. Well, I think when people realized that Kurt was going to be involved, they just kind of stepped back.
Sure, he's an intimidating dude at times. Right?
Like, his beard's a little pointy.
It is.
I'm scared.
It is very pointy. It's an admirable beard.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It's good. It's like the devil's kind of beard.
It is, yeah.
Well, he's nicer than the devil.
I try to mold mine a little bit.
Oh, yeah. It's got a little bit of the pointy. Yeah. Mine, not so much.
Nah, yeah.
But, and then Black Friday, by the time this comes up, it probably will
It'll be past, yeah.
But we're doing a thing at the store, big sale, and you're gonna be there.
I will.
In some capacity.
Yeah. I'll tell you exactly what capacity.
Yeah.
For the listener to go back in time and take advantage.
If you get one chance to go back in time to do anything, it should be to go to Mavericks on Black Friday.
Yep. But yeah, I'll be there sketching and selling artwork, and I'll have prints and some comics.
Prince is going to be there?
I will have Prince there.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Is he going to do like an acoustic set?
He might do a very small, intimate set.
He's known for like that sort of...
Yeah, just pop-ups.
Yeah,
right.
Wow.
I think he's actually done that here in Dayton.
Yeah, he did play at a bar in like Beaver Creek.
Yep. But yeah, he'll be there and playing his hits.
Nice.
Yeah. some Raspberry Beret.
Oh, I love Raspberry Beret.
Yeah. It's the kind to buy at a secondhand store.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's cool. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah, so hopefully we all did really well that day.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just going to my parents' house, and I believe my brother and his family will be there, and so that will be just an awkward and terrible time.
Well, yeah. Let's hope for the best.
But at least there will be good food.
Yeah, not spaghetti though.
Not spaghetti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll save you some.
I bet I could probably convince my mom to cook spaghetti. She'd be like, "Oh, save me a shitload of time."
Right. Yeah.
I think my mom looks forward to cooking Thanksgiving dinner. So
that's cool. Your mom's pretty awesome.
She is at times.
I wonder if she would like Inherent Vice. She likes kind of different movies for a mom.
I imagine that she probably rented this when it originally came out.
Yeah.
And I imagine that both she and my dad, I bet my mom probably enjoyed it, but doesn't know why she enjoyed it. Right. And I bet my dad just complained about it for days.
That's great.
But at least he would not have called this a cartoon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he calls lots of films cartoons.
Yeah.
Like superhero movies.
Mostly like superhero or action movies.
Yeah.
Yep. If this one had any CGI, it was unnoticeable.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, if there was, it was subtle.
Yeah.
Because I didn't catch any.
Yep.
Yeah.
You read anything recently?
I read the new issue of Jughead and the new Star Wars this week.
Oh, yeah?
They're both pretty good.
Still liking the Star Wars book?
It's okay. Like, I only read the last 2 issues, and I just picked it up because Dengar was on the cover. And,
right.
And number 11, and he's like one of my favorite Star Wars characters since I was a child. And I really enjoyed number 11, and I read number 12, and I was like, it was good.
Yeah.
And like, it was fine, but...
Right. No Dengar.
He was in it, but like, it was like, kind of like, like reading Hulk 182, he's like heading out,
right, right, yeah.
So yeah, he was just kind of barely in it, and I was like, I probably won't read the next one, but I enjoyed it. Yeah. But Jughead is a really good book.
Really?
I really like Jughead.
It's written by Chip Zdarsky. Who's drawing it?
I forget her name, the Squirrel Girl artist.
Erica Henderson?
That's it. Henderson.
Okay,
yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like it. And it's weird, though, because each issue has a backup feature that's a reprint of, like, a 50s Jughead story.
Right.
And I read the first one, and it's just like, I'm not into it.
Right, yeah.
I like 50s stuff, but possibly not Jughead comics from the 50s.
Right.
And so I just skipped the one in this issue, but
may have been great though.
It could have been, like, because Chip Zdarsky always has a little, like, a one-page thing where he kind of talks to the reader, and he's like basically like introing the Jughead reprint thing, and like he kind of talks about it, and it sounded funny, but I was like, I don't think I'll read it. That, and did I mention last week that I was reading that George Orwell book? I think I mentioned that, didn't I?
I don't think you did on the show, but you talked to me personally about it.
Okay. Yeah, I was reading that, and it's called The Road to Wigan Pier, and it's, I think I may have mentioned that it's the most unwhimsical book I've ever read.
Right.
And a good majority of it I read on the most whimsical chair I've ever sat on in my life. It was basically like this, it was something from the movie Big, where it's just like this weirdly shaped chair that constantly rotates in such a way that you're moving up and down while it rotates. Like kind of like, it feels like you're about to fall off at any second. Like it's kind of like a top. It's like, it
sounds horrible and disorienting.
It kind of was. And I was just reading this George Orwell book, and I was like, this is the only time that this has ever happened. And I was pretty confident and happy about that. Like, I made history. No one has ever read that book in a whimsical chair. So I felt pretty good.
I bet there's at least one other person who has.
I want to meet that person.
If you're out there, and I know you're listening,
right? Because everyone
let
is.
us know.
Yeah, right on in. How about you? Read anything good?
I read a free comic that came out a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Neon Joe Werewolf Hunter.
Right. Somebody good drew that. Was it Mandrake?
Tom Mandrake and Jan Duursema? Duursema?
I don't know.
She did a lot of Star Wars, Dark Horse Star Wars books, and I think she had a short run on X Factor in the mid-90s. But yeah, Tom Mandrake, I've always enjoyed him.
Yeah.
Huge
Spectre.
fan of the Spectre. Dan Panosian did the cover.
Yeah, he's good.
And it's written by John Glazer, who is a comedian and actor who is going to be the star of the Adult Swim Neon Joe Werewolf Hunter television show. So,
does he write the show as well?
I would guess. At least he created the show.
Okay.
It was entertaining.
Right.
Also maybe the dumbest thing I've ever read.
And you've read some dumb stuff.
I've read some really dumb shit. And it was enjoyable enough. Like I might check out the show when it comes out.
It's cool. Is it an animated feature?
No. It is a live action.
That's the only comic you've read lately?
I think so.
Wow, that's weird, isn't it?
God, yeah.
Have you grown out of comics? Are you growing up?
I kind of am, I think. I did watch some movies today, other than this one.
Right.
I watched the original trilogy, my trilogy, of the Evil Dead trilogy.
Yeah. That's your favorite trilogy?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's over Back to the Future, even?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen it more times than Back to the Future, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, today I watched Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness.
Nice. All back to back.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite an endeavor.
Yeah. Just sat in a chair.
well, yeah. Well, the guys that piloted the, whatever the Sputnik was or whatever that we used to get to Venus. This guy's just sitting in a fucking chair. Neil Hambone and Buzz Osborne from the Melvins. So yeah, don't sell yourself short.
Fair enough.
Which version of Army of Darkness did you watch? The one that has like the alternate ending?
I watched the theatrical version.
That's the one I prefer.
I kind of do too. And then because I remember when I first got the movie, it was, I listened to the commentary and I think there was even like an introduction to it, and Bruce Campbell, did it, and he was like, I'm always a big fan of, whatever the director's original vision was, and, I support that idea. But I think in this case, the theatrical version is a little bit better.
Well, here's my thing. Like, I like the idea of, like, the alternate version where basically he takes too many drinks and he ends up way in the future, and it's like
the
post-apocalypse,
right,
and you're like, oh wow, that's a cool like Twilight Zone ending, but it doesn't really encapsulate the feel of those movies.
No.
Like the way that the theatrical version ends with that super fun, crazy action and a great cheesy B-movie dialogue. I mean, that last scene basically wraps up the entire film and encapsulates the the feel of it.
Right.
And like that's the way you end that movie, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think I even read that Sam Raimi has said that he kind of likes the other ending too. Like he likes both.
Right. I mean, he shot them both.
Right. Sure. Yeah. But there's actually a scene in the middle of the movie in the theatrical version that I prefer so much more.
Was it with the little tiny Ash stuff?
Sort of. It's like around that time.
Yeah.
It's basically when Evil Ash separates from Ash's body.
Oh yeah.
And they have the fight out in the woods.
Yeah.
And Evil Ash is doing like his goody two shoes dance, and Ash shoots him in the face. And in the director's cut, I think he shoots him in the face and says, "I'm not that good," or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is kind of a shitty line.
Yeah.
In the theatrical version, it's so much better.
Yep.
He shoots him in the face and says, "Good, bad, I'm the guy with the gun."
Yeah. That's totally Ash.
1000% Ash. Yeah.
Yep.
At least that version of Ash. Because as I learned while watching all three movies, there are three different versions of Ash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because in the first movie, it is pretty much, straight horror. There's obviously just a group of kids making a movie, to see that they could make a movie,
Yeah.
Pushing the horror aspect of it as far as they could possibly go on what little budget that they had.
Like the no budget that
they had.
Yeah.
And it's a fine movie, and Ash is, he's not the Ash that we know and love. But
he doesn't have the personality yet.
Yeah. I mean, it comes through a little bit, and he obviously is the lone survivor there at the end, and is the hero, but he's not a great hero. But then Evil Dead 2 comes around, and it's, much more of a comedy than it is a horror movie.
Yeah.
Well, it's equal parts.
It's got a lot of good splatter.
Yeah. I'd say it was 50-50 comedy and horror.
Mm-hmm.
And Ash is we start to see the development of the Ash that I think everybody is more familiar with. He is a lot more heroic, and he is more of a go-getter, but he's got a lot more B-movie lines, too. He does, but he's also not really a snarky asshole. He's just, surviving. Yeah. And
he's kind of an asshole in Army of Darkness.
In Army of Darkness, he is a super asshole. Yeah. And
that lady gives him a blanket, and he's like, I could use a horse blanket or whatever.
Yep.
Something like that.
And then with the video games, that all sort of, enhanced all of that. And now with the new television program, Ash versus the Evil Dead, it is full on. That's the Army of Darkness Ash.
I really want to see that. I have not seen any of that.
It is enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, when I watched the first episode, my honest reaction to it is that I, at the same time, equal levels, loved it and was disappointed.
Yeah.
And I can't explain why.
It didn't really take it anywhere new, maybe, or...
It could be that. It's possible. Or it was just a lot of, retread of,
right.
And I get, it's 25 years, whatever, since...
Oh my God! What? No, because I was just in high school. That was 2 years ago. Oh my God! That was 25 years ago?
Just about.
Oh my God.
Came out in 92, so 23 years ago.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man. I'll have to watch that show, though.
Oh, yeah. So, like I said, because it has been 23 years since there's been a wide, scale, representation of Ash on a screen anywhere. They probably had to recap some.
Yeah.
Or not recap, but set him up again.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I felt that way. But
how many episodes have there been?
I think the fourth one just came out this week.
Okay.
So 3 or 4.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun and it's gory and it's definitely like the Army of Darkness approach to it.
Do you know what's Sam Raimi's involvement?
He directed the first episode.
Okay.
Which I think was an hour long, and every other episode has been half an hour.
Oh, okay.
And obviously executive producer and wrote the first episode.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And obviously Bruce Campbell is starring as Ash again, and
that's cool.
Also executive producer. I think the second episode, which I liked a lot more than the first episode, was written by a guy from the comedy group Derek Comedy.
Okay.
Who did the movie Mystery Team.
I don't know that one.
I love that movie. And so, and when I saw his name, I was like, oh, okay, well that might explain why I really enjoyed this episode.
Right.
And, no disrespect to Sam Raimi.
Right.
Obviously, I'm a big fan, but, at the same time, even with Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, I would like to continue to see them do other stuff.
Yeah.
Rather than just keep going back to Evil Dead stuff.
At least it's, obviously they've done a lot of stuff. So,
sure.
So it's cool. It's cool that they're, kind of giving us a little more Ash.
I mean, a lot of people, I'm certainly not saying, well, fuck Evil Dead, because I'm watching it, obviously.
Right.
But, and then I even saw the remake and loved it,
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how much I liked it because I was like, it looks like they're sucking all the fun out of it. It doesn't look as campy and fun.
Right.
But it was very well done.
Oh, yeah. Like they basically just went back to the first movie
and
said straight up horror.
And it's so cool. There's so much gore, but it doesn't make me feel bad when I watch a gory movie. It's like a fun gory movie.
Right.
Even though it's not comedy.
Right. It's very dark.
Yeah. Did a great job.
They made a scary movie.
Yeah.
And that's the ultimate purpose of a horror movie. And they did it.
They did it right.
Yeah. But yeah, and I think it's kind of cool that, at the same time that Ash vs. the Evil Dead is out, there was an episode of the television show Fargo that Bruce Campbell played Ronald Reagan in.
I want to see this. Yeah. I've watched the entire first season of Fargo, and it was better than I expected.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I'm looking forward to the second one. Good stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, other than that, not too much going on.
Well, maybe I could provide a comic for you to read since you haven't really read very many comics.
Sure.
There's a comic I've been meaning to read for, I guess, a couple years, maybe.
Ooh.
But it's a graphic novel.
Oh, you mean a comic book?
Yeah. It's a funny page. Oh, that was something we didn't mention in Inherent Vice.
Oh, yeah.
One of the first things I noticed was there was 2 Crazy Cat strips glued to the refrigerator in Doc's apartment.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome. He's a Crazy Cat fan. I could see that.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. But no, this isn't Crazy Cat that we're talking about. It's a graphic memoir by Liz Prince.
Don't know who that is.
She has done a bunch of mini comics, and she's maybe her most biggest work is her current work. She's writing the comic version of the cartoon Clarence for
I don't know what that is.
Okay. I think it's I don't know, it's kind of a gross kid show, but
okay.
But no, but the graphic novel is called Tomboy.
Okay.
And it's her graphic memoir of her life. So
okay.
You think you're down?
I guess I am.
Okay. Cool.
I don't really have any frame of reference to know whether I would hate this or not.
I feel like you may have seen her. I've had a lot of her comics over the years, her like mini comics and whatnot.
I know I've seen this book that you're talking about sitting on your desk for a couple of weeks. But, I had no idea you were going to be picking this because I had no idea what it was. Because I've never heard of it or her. Oh, well, I'm happy to be the one to enlighten or at least to share. Yeah, you know what?
To expose.
Some of these things you pick, they work out okay.
Every fifth or sixth time.
Every so often, yeah. All right.
Tomboy by
Liz Prince.
Yeah. I believe it's by Top Shelf. Can't remember for sure, but check it out if you guys get a chance.
Sure.
And read along with us.
Indeed.
All right. Until next time.
I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, me too.
And we'll probably talk about ours or Black Friday in the next episode.
At least Black Friday.
Right.
All right.
All right. Goodbye. Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.